another beautiful Tuesday morning, and you're welcome to Wake Up Africa right here on Dominion TV. My name is Precious Biandala, and I'm going to be the captain of the ship today. Well, we're in for great conversations. Like we always say, it's one conversation at a time. What is the aim? To make Africa a better place. Every conversation that we have on this show is to endeavor our, is to make sure that all our endeavors actually doing great and actually good for God and for country. So expect great things today too. We should be going to the weather, and then we'll do birthdays, we'll get into the news by way of Wake Up Buzz, and then we'll now sit and delve into some of the issues that made headlines for today. You should expect sports because it's Tuesday, right? And then there's another conversation about what happens or how you can use marketing and advertising to, grab the mind of children and what that does to the mind of these children. And so we're going to be having that conversation today. You want to join us on our socials? It's My Dominion TV. Like, share, and drop comments and be a part of the conversations. Let's go for a quick break, and then when we get back, the show continues.
I want to welcome you to Wake Up Africa Morning Show. If Africa has ever needed to wake up, it's now. I promise you that this Wake Up Africa Morning Show will impact your life. It will illuminate you. The Bible said that thy word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. You need this insight. You need the understanding required to make all the difference in all of our lives. I want you not just to tune in to the Wake Up Africa Morning Show, but I want you to be a sponsor. I want you to partner with us as we take this Wake Up Africa Morning Show, the inspiration it brings, the impact across all Africa, to homes, to individuals, impacting lives. Join us to make a difference. It is said and believed that in this life, what you do to change the life of others matters than what you acquire for yourself. It is believed that it's not what you have, what you possess that matters, but the difference you made in the life of others. I believe as you partner with Wake Up Africa Morning Show, you'll be joining us to make a difference in the life of so many people out there. Partner with us, and every time we touch a life, you are blessed. Every time we impact a family, you'll be remembered for good. God bless you. Looking forward to partnering with you and tuning in to Wake Up Africa Morning Show.
Well, you heard the voice of His Eminence, the Archbishop. He says to partner with us, and you will never regret it. Let's use this opportunity to say thank you to AquaClear Mineral Water for supporting the morning show, and also Medshare. Medshare is actually good for your African skin, the best thing that prevents mosquito bites and protects your skin, right, from harsh weather conditions. Anyway, now let's get on with the weather, and I'm going to be your weather prophetess for today. The weather is going to be variably cloudy and cold with slight rains over northeast and upper east areas this morning. Mist and fog patches will also be forming over parts of the coastal, forest and mountainous regions early this morning, reducing visibility. Variably cloudy with occasional breaks of sunshine will occur in most places. The weather will become cloudy and cold again in the evening hours with scattered thunderstorm activities over parts of the northern sectors and southern parts of Burkina Faso late afternoon into evening hours. The state of the sea will be rough today, and so fisher folks should prepare themselves well before going for their daily activities. You should expect minimum of 21 degrees Celsius and maximum of 31 degrees Celsius temperatures today. And then we'll be sure to keep you updated should there be any change. So it's just a continuation of the weather. Before August started, we're actually in the last week of August, right? Okay. So maybe this is the last week of experiencing winter, Ghana winter. Or maybe it's going to get even colder in September. Oh my God. Anyway, that's just what it is. We're preparing for that. So yesterday, the weatherman actually advised that we should do more warm beverages, drink a lot of warm water, and you should keep your children warm. How? Give them woolen clothing, cotton more, and you should also make sure that they are covered up, their joints and all that is covered up. And then they should drink a lot of water so that they can prevent all this flu and all this cough that's going around. And you too should keep yourself healthy, and because we need you alive. All right? Okay, great. So now let's celebrate birthdays. Happy birthday to these people.
Yeah. It's your birthday. It's your day. One day out of 365. It's your day. One day out of 365. Happy birthday. Woo, to you. Happy birthday. Yeah. To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Yeah. It's your birthday. It's your day. One day out of 365. It's your day. One day out of 365. Happy birthday. Woo, to you. Happy birthday. Yeah.
And a beautiful happy birthday to you. May the Lord bless you, keep you, make his face shine upon you, and go ahead and enjoy your birthday and the rest of the year. So now let's get on with Wake Up Buzz, where we keep you updated. For those of you leaving home right now, you would know what's happening on the international and local fronts even before you leave. Wake Up Buzz. Starting off with our local news, Z9 helicopter crash investigation board begins work. Akwatia by-election, massive police deployment, scary, the residents say. Ghana Revenue Authority incurs 2 million Ghana cedi debt after suspending licenses of 3 firms. Woman, 38, arrested for stealing week-old baby in Wa. The Comptroller and Accountant General's Department partners the Office of the Special Prosecutor to probe and prosecute payroll offenders. And from the camp of Wasi, invigilators' phone seized at Armed Forces SHTS. Savannah Nadmo appeals for calm as Benyiri clashes claim 10 lives. And on international news, South Africa's HIV fight at risk after 427 million US dollars aid cuts. US government wants to deport Kilma Abegro Garcia to Uganda. Ethiopia's Amhara region to enroll millions of out-of-school children. Pro-Palestinian protests sweep Kenya, Senegal, and South Africa amid Gaza famine fears. Four journalists killed in Israel. Israel strike on hospital in Gaza, health officials say. Hundreds continue to flee central Milan town after jihadist attack. And Sudanese officials assesses Khartoum's readiness for government return. And there you have it. That's Wake Up Buzz. We just kept you updated on what's happening. Some news that's happening on the international and also some news that's happening locally. We're going to go for a break now. older. And a man of God. Why is there
It's a statement of faith.
So almost every church now has international.
When you see it, and also you see the reality also is that because of social media now, every ministry is really international unless you don't want to stream. So I have an international presence. In fact, I have people that watch me regularly from the United States, in the United Kingdom. I've had feedback from New Zealand, Australia. Yeah, like some of the equipment even in our church have been bought for us by our international audience. Like our whole, virtually our media setup was donated to us. That was not even because of the church. There's something I used to do called Journey into the Bible, which now I put on hold for a while. So somebody brought a camera in, others studio lights, microphones, all sorts of things. And even last week we got drum mics and new drum mics actually, and we're expecting a new set of microphones also coming in from the US. So it's international in that sense that there's always an audience out there. Yeah. So
Biadela International, please.
Of course,
Get used
Africa
to it.
is watching you.
Yeah,
baby. Your girl. Yeah.
Well, before we get into that, let's say a big thank you to Aqua Clear Mineral Water and also MedShear. MedShear is a insect and mosquito repellent. Okay, it's good for your African skin because it's made of shea butter and very organic items, and that is MedShear right there on your screen. You want to get MedShear, try it on your skin. It doesn't give rash or allergies or none of the sort because it's purely organic, and it's good for you, especially in Africa, where mosquitoes actually kind of like they don't even do family planning anymore. They just, they just flood our homes and all that, get a MedShear, and that will be good for your African skin. All right, now let's get on with the discussions. Many things actually making news. The very first one that caught me was a woman that, also because I'm a woman, I'm thinking, how in the world would you think that? It's not strange. It's not something that it's not like we've never heard it before. But Reverend Bibi, a woman 38 years arrested for stealing a week-old baby in Wa to achieve what? I don't understand. Like, that's
nice. Very handsome little baby.
So the upper West Regional Police Command has arrested a 38-year-old woman, Abna Martha Manibe, for allegedly stealing a week-old baby with the belongings of the child's mother. According to the police statement signed by the Upper West Regional Police Commander, DCOP Darko Ofe Lomote, the suspect posed as a patient's caretaker and deceived the mother, Miss Kofi Mwimbele, into leaving the hospital. I don't even know how that works. Miss Mwimbele had given birth to a baby boy on August 1st, 2025 at the Wa Regional Hospital. On August 10, the suspect allegedly persuaded her to accompany her to the Wa market to buy diapers. While there, Manibe absconded with the newborn and the mother's handbag, which contained a mobile phone, cash, and other valuables. A swift investigation by the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit, DOSU, led to the suspect's arrest at her hideout in Nobile community in the Savannah region on August 15th. The baby was rescued unharmed and reunited with his mother. So the suspect has been arraigned before the Wa District Magistrate Court on Monday, 18, 2025, and remanded into custody to appear on September 2nd, 2025.
Well, I mean, it's a reality, this kind of syndicates thing has been in the system for a while, and I think it may be some sort of lucrative business because I don't know whether you had taken notice of it some time back. Even quite a number of celebrities in developed countries were adopting a lot of black children from Africa.
Yes.
Charlize Theron, what's the name of that? Our Angelina Jolie, and these guys. So you should know there's a big market for that, and especially with this rising of LGBTQ people who actually want to have a family when they know very well they cannot reproduce naturally, are also very open and have become a sort of source for this sort of business. And again, you also know the issue of our African belief system and how people use all these sort of things for rituals, as it were. So there is a market for it, and I'm sure that if this lady is interrogated very well, we'll find out that she had found a customer or potential customer that she was going to send it to. And you may even be surprised to know that this may not be her first time doing this. These things don't occur to people suddenly, So I think the police investigation team should take their time with this investigation. It may lead them to find the ring behind, because when you see that, there's always a chain, exactly, so that they'll be able to find a clear trajectory where the thing leads to, and even be able to get the ringleaders, and then maybe escalate it to even a national level. So as for these things, I mean, I was surprised when I read it because it's been a long while some of these cases came up.
Made the news.
Yeah, made the news, but it's not something extraordinary. We've had it in our news before, and people do that. They sell human beings.
But I mean, because there should be, talking about adoption, I thought about that. Then I said, there are legit.
No, this is not your regular kind of adoption. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because when you are going through the adoption process, there are clear criteria you have to meet that you would not have to meet if you are buying a baby, for example.
This is more like a black market.
Exactly. So it's like you trying to convince someone who is changing his dollars with, the black market guys that they are forex bureaus. They know they are forex bureaus, definitely. And one of the things I found out some time ago, I don't know whether the law has changed, that Ghana, the way our family system is structured, we don't really recognize people as being orphans because our traditional family system is said that everybody belongs to a particular identifiable household,
right,
family, or larger clan. You understand? So you really technically can be an orphan. So I'm told that it's quite very challenging to really go through adoption in Ghana here. Because serious hurdles have to be scaled to be sure that this person truly has no dependents, has no family, there's no way, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you also have to be interrogated to make sure whether they have the wherewithal to provide for the child. Because the truth about adoption also is that there's a legal requirement that binds the adoptee, the one who does the adoption.
Yeah.
Which you don't even have with your children. Like technically, you could say you've disowned your children and not even leave them property. But you can't do that with a child. A child you adopt is permanently yours. You don't have, you under no circumstance can you claim to disown them. Not with your mouth, not legally, not with your will. That is, so the day I understood this, I now understood why the scripture is very clear on saying that we have been adopted as children of God.
Right.
You see, so again, unless you really recant or renounce your faith, you really can't lose your faith in a certain sense, because the Father has a certain obligation towards you that even supersedes that obligation to a biological son, because
Right.
this relationship is supervised by the law or by the state, as it were, so the state will keep watching to see whether you are living up to the obligations you signed to when you adopted that child. So because of some of these things, people always want the route other way out. I mean, if I adopted this baby and realized it had a hole in, I bought this baby and realized it has a hole in heart, I just find some baller somewhere and go and throw them away because no law is binding the relationship anyway. So
these are real human beings.
yeah, you see, again, it belies the reality of what Jeremiah said, that the heart of the unbeliever is desperately wicked. You see, it's not just wicked, though, it's desperately wicked, meaning that it is wicked and it is seeking opportunity in desperation to manifest the wickedness. You see, so it really shows our fallen state as a people. What we could have potentially become without the grace and the mercy of God is what some of these stories tell us, because I can't imagine what this woman would do if her child were stolen.
Right.
And you may even watch this thing and realize that she's not part of any syndicate. She may even be having a mental health problem. Yeah. For example, like what I shared that I experienced with my wife, they've lost their child, or they've gone through some very tragic abortion that a guy forced them to do. They've lost the ability to have a child. So they see this as an opportunity, Charlie, let me just bolt to this child, resettle somewhere nobody knows me so that I can also have the pride of motherhood. There may be many underlying currents. So you may be dealing with somebody who is seriously disturbed even mentally. They are mentally unwell, so they may, in the physical sense, they may be exhibiting all the signs of what we will call normal, but somewhere in the subconscious, something is not well, So you may never know. But I think that the police people should treat this thing serious. It's not a case of let's just prosecute and jail. Right. And I've always had the same stance when it comes to people who attempt suicide, because our law actually incriminates such people, and I think it's not fair, because anybody who contemplates suicide has actually come to a place of hopelessness.
Right.
They've agreed with themselves after having a meeting with themselves and looking at their circumstance that life is not worth living. At that point, that person is under an influence other than the regular thinking. Something else is forcing their actions. So when we find them, it's not right that we submit them to the judicial process and lock them up. We're only deferring a death which will happen anyway. Yeah. We should rather go to the root cause. Why is this person seeing life that way? If they're giving professional help, they can come out of that. Then they can have some probation where they are monitored to make sure those suicidal tendencies have been effectively dealt with. Then they can be led back into society. So I think this woman's case, if she's not part of a syndicate and there's something wrong upstairs, we need to temper justice with mercy and get her help,
And that takes me to, then that means that most of the people, even in our prison systems, all they need is just maybe a session in rehab, right? Because of some of the maybe crimes they might have committed. Because if this woman goes to prison, she's just going to add up to that number.
And there's a reason why a lot of them, when they come out, they commit similar crimes and go back. Because the prison system primarily is supposed to be a correctional system. You understand? So what happens even in the period of their custody? So yes, they've been sentenced to hard labor. But in between, when they are not doing the hard labor, things must be done to make sure that they will come back to society as a better people. Look, I've heard stories about European and American prisons where people have done their degrees in there. Some have written books. Exactly. Some have written books. Some have done their biographies and stuff like that. So, when you look at the budget the Ghana prisons is given, it's a paltry thing. But if we are considering that we want to really rehab people and help them, we can do so much. Was it Venezuela or this country with the new president, Bukele? He has some very wild prison that is reforming his people, right? It's not Venezuela. If I remember the name, I'll talk about it. It's in South America, and he has even set up garment factories. So some of the garments being made for prison officers, their police service, fire service, and some of these public service guys who wear uniforms. El Salvador. Yeah, and I sent it to my auntie who happens to be the new director of Ghana prisons. And I said, I hope and pray that God would help you to have resources to do such things, because the prison she was in charge of before it was closed down and then she assumed her new position, she had begun to produce pure water from the prison. The prisoners were producing pure water. It was selling in the market. People didn't know that it was prisoners that were producing the water. She had a soccer team. They were doing things and guys were going to school in there. Sometimes I will see the pictures and she'll send them on the page. We look at them. It's fantastic. And you could see somebody who was interested in getting people to change, to become a better version of themselves so that they can contribute. So they even had skills that even when nobody employed them, and they had a little capital, they could work for themselves, because sometimes the stigma sticks and they say, this guy is going to prison, but I don't want to work with them. But if they are making clothes and they are putting them in somebody's fashion line and they're selling them in a shop, there's no tag that a prisoner made this, and they're able to make a living. They don't go back to that lifestyle. So a lot of our people there, sometimes it's mental issues. So some people that are true ones who are constantly violent, sometimes the person just needs a little attention. They are suffering from an attention disorder. Is it ADHD? Is AD something they call it? ADHD.
ADHD.
So these are the things, really.
Wow. Bigger than I thought. Because mostly when there are these programs that people air from prisons, and when you speak to the people, very brilliant people.
Exactly.
One, they don't have help. And they will do whatever, like you said, when they go out, they want to do whatever it would take for them to go back, because
that's their safe space.
Exactly.
Nobody judges them. We are all thieves here, so Charlie. We are all bad guys. So they are so they are happy there. They are okay. So it's not like the place is a good place, but it's the only place where they have a semblance of sanity. Yeah.
Right.
So.
Right. Anyway, would you want to talk about the helicopter crash?
Yeah, I hear that a team has been put together to investigate it.
Yeah.
And even the fact that we are seeking help from the American Air Force and experts give me some bit of comfort, because then I'm quite certain that we will dig out and be able to come up with something concrete. It's my prayer that the military themselves, because I'm told national security and some people are cheering this thing, please don't cover up anything. No matter how sensitive it is, even to our national security, you can have nice ways of couching it so that it doesn't undermine our national security. But don't cover up anything, especially when we find out that somebody we respect and is part of us. When I say us, those in government is culpable. You understand? Don't let us cover up anything, because there are lessons to be learned, and there is a tomorrow that can be better than the yesterday that we have suffered. So that will be my only comment. And please they shouldn't take forever.
Right, my point exactly. We should have timelines.
Because I've not heard the final report from the education forum people that Mr. President put together to look at the thing. And I've also not heard of the final report from the Constitutional Review Commission people. So I had a lot of vim with JMs coming. And people are viming me with some of these unnecessary delays. And then our Attorney General always briefing us. I mean, look, catch somebody, please.
I know, right? And treat the person the way we want.
And then please, special prosecutors, stop sending us monthly reports. We are not Parliament. Just catch somebody. You told us about Interpol and Oforiata, and we don't know what has happened since. So please, this is not a lecture.
I know, right?
It's not a national lecture. Take us from the lecture. We want practicals. So Biara, help me to tell our state actors that enough of the theory. We want practicals. Yes, we beg them.
And all those people.
Yeah, we want practicals.
I think I agree. I mean, because it will now make us appreciate the job of the OSB and all these people, just so that they are not. Another thing, Yoko has started doing, which some people have expressed concern about. I mean, it's good to find people when you catch them and all of that, but it has become the norm. So somebody does something, if I have some cash somewhere, Yoko finds me, I'm able to pay, and then, it's become it's getting quite dangerous, We can't build I don't even know how to say it, our economy or our government. Exactly.
We are just trying to do some acting to make people excited. So
anyway, elections are coming up. Akwita by-election. I have seen people. I've seen votes buying. I've seen it.
I saw videos of that.
I'm telling you.
We have not seen anything.
Not now.
I think people know that when I see you, I'll come and say it on Dominion TV, so they are not sending me some of the videos.
Well, yes. I mean, in the past, you would see how people, by-elections sort of come with a special, special mindset or special attention, even in the wrong direction.
It's like that because, you see, when there's a national election, all the 270-something constituencies are very, very busy.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to let down their guard. So everybody, men at work, everybody is busy. But when there's a by-election, the whole political party concentrates their energies, their efforts, all their thugs, macho men, thieves, riggers, into that particular community.
Right.
So it becomes like an unofficial civil war. You know, I think I saw a headline on my Joy Online yesterday that they had arrested some guys with weapons.
Yes.
And all that. And then I saw the man who was using the doctor that asked to stop Tanku computer or whatever, now asserting that they are MPP people and all that, even when the police has not made any statement.
Exactly.
You know, so it's just part of the game. It's just my hope and my prayer. I mean, I heard on a sister station when I was coming this morning that it becomes a little disheartening when things have happened in Ablekuma North. We have not had any concrete arrests. We've not heard of any concrete prosecutions. And yet the same police service is telling us that let's rest assured it will not recur. Where were they when it occurred the first time? The same political parties are giving us lip service. We are going to ensure there is peace. You know, but they were the same people that caused the pandemonium and the mayhem, you know, in Ablekuma North. So sometimes, not even sometimes, I feel that this approach we have is constantly and gradually eating away at the confidence that people have when it comes to our electoral system, because we keep moving on without correcting the mistakes.
Exactly.
We keep moving on, and then we keep sweeping the mistakes, people's grievances under the carpet. And my fear is that one of these days, that all these things will come together, shaking together and running over, and there will be an explosion. There will be an explosion, and that explosion will happen on the back of that individual or group of persons thinking that as all the others have gotten away with it, I will get away with it. You know, because I think, was it 2016 or 2020 or so, there was this shooting incident. We saw it on the TV. The soldiers opened fire on defenseless, unarmed civilians. The president never said sorry. He never gave a speech even to acknowledge that it ever happened. He had several State of the Nation addresses. He never talked about it. I don't know whether it was a deaf and dumb spirit and blind spirit, because at least if you didn't see, somebody will say it into your ear, you know, and maybe when you wanted to say damnness came upon your tongue. It's sickening. And I mean, I've not heard a clear statement at any given time by President John Mahama strongly condemning what happened at Ablekuma North. We've had people, presidential spokespersons, and still speak about it. But that clear thing, and look, I'm charging the IGP, I'm giving him X number of weeks, get me the guys who did the wrong thing, or else your job is on the line. You know, we need to see that, even when it's our own people, to let them know that, listen, even when we send you to go and do this nonsense and you are caught, you will stand alone. You know, look, I have lived in the house of party officials. And I have watched ones when they would make public pronouncements about how election is just a contest of ideas, it's peace. And then in their private space, these thugs come home and they demonstrate how they'll get their job done. This is not hearsay. It's what I have seen, I've heard. Nigerian man will say, I saw with my two kuru eyes. You know, so from that time, I just took a decision that these type of things, Charlie, I don't want to get it. So I believe I cannot do politics in a certain kind of way, because my person will not allow that kind of hypocrisy. You see, we say one thing
they would do the
and
other.
we are doing, and these persons who were doing that, as we're having these meetings, right? They were having these meetings that I snooped on, you know, and I managed to eavesdrop into. Their kids were in their air-conditioned bedrooms studying. Yeah. I know two people, one on this side of the political divide, another on this side of the political divide. One particular election, when they were wearing war smokes, as I'm talking about, you know, war smokes and saying there'll be blood in Ghana. That side also was saying, we'll not agree, blood will flow and all that. They had gone to my wife's office at Delta when she was working there, and both of them had come to buy tickets for their wives and their children, and they were leaving Ghana. And you know, December, you can't say that schools had vacated. December 7th was not like vacation.
Right.
So they were willing to go to their children's schools, get them out of the school, and get them out of the country. And they'll be on national TV wearing war attire with red bands, screaming here, you know, and all that. So what you don't understand is their visa and everything is ready. At the first shot of the gun, they are bought their tickets, they're on their way out. Their family is already gone. And years later, when we finish killing ourselves, they will come back come and make a new constitution, return us to multi-party democracy, and their sons will rule us as their fathers did. So please, those who give themselves to this sort of nonsense, I understand that ultimately you are the one that will roast on the grill, and let us just know that it's a seat in parliament. It's not going to be for eternity.
Right.
And no matter how long your party stays in power, by all means one day you will leave. So let's handle things properly and let's deal with political actors, especially our presidents, when these things happen. Even when we see it's our own party people, let's condemn it for the sake of the peace and sanity of Ghana as a nation. And let's stop playing this ostrich neck in the whole type of thing where I'm only seeing darkness in the hole. I can't see the sun shining all around me. It will come back to bite us, And it is shameful that Honorable Sam George was slapped full glare on TV. And up to today, he's not gotten justice. You understand? We have seen Honorable Howard Kumsi. A man dives. I mean, a man dives. This guy could easily be Ghana's long jump. It could be our rep, with this northern hat. It went all the way to the woman's chest.
He's quite heavy too.
Yeah, I mean, he's heavier than me. Plump, round man. So how he has that athleticism, I wonder. Jump over, 4 or 5 meters and land right in the central sternum of a woman and knock her up by with other punches. We saw the face. Triponi, we saw the MPP having a rally or whatever.
Yes.
This NDC man, there wasn't metro or so. The gun was direct, shooting, boom, boom. You could see the cameraman shaking. Every time you ask DC OP Kwesi Fori, I think he was at that time, he would tell Kwame Sefa, I'm on my way to the office. When I get there, I'll give you further particular. He did that so the government went into opposition. We are jokers. And one day, I'm telling you, Biadela, somebody close to the president or a minister will be shot like that. It will be a minister being shot right on national television. And then we'll be watching with our own eyes as the country just descends into anarchy. Let's be clear, strict, and strong about these things. So that's an advice to. The by-election is today.
Yeah,
I think it's today.
Having it today.
We wish them good luck.
I'm actually quite sad, because even the residents were complaining about.
Yeah, that they were afraid that the security presence was too much.
They're so armed and they're looking like, look, the world is coming to an end today. It's just a by-election. Vote and go to your house. Finito. Anyway, well, we'll leave it at that.
Fellow Ghanaians.
Fellow Ghanaians, right? Well, he's also facing his own trouble, Ralph. He's still going through it. Oh my God. Lots of people have been talking about, the rich guy.
I believe that guy must be arrested and prosecuted.
Right.
Just for scapegoating. Yeah. Because, I have experienced these kind of people also even in ministry. It's called emotional intelligence and maturity. Sometimes when you lack emotional intelligence, you can be right and still come out as wrong.
Right.
Because the truth on its own will be affected by how it is packaged. It's the very reason why no matter how hungry you are, you will not eat your favorite meal even from a brand new chamber pot. Because presentation is crucial. Because in your subconscious, now I'm just giving you an example. In your subconscious, that thing is a receptor for waste and not food.
Right.
So Ralph may have a cause, but physical assault, throwing tantrums, that's not the way to go.
And defending it
you
on
understand?
Social media with all
exactly.
kinds of words.
No, you see, and that is, those people are narcissists. You see, but sometimes when they fight social causes, we don't see their narcissism. So narcissists are the ones who always render an apology by attaching it to your action. That Biadala, I'm sorry I hit you, but don't be provoking me. You made me hit you.
Right.
So that's how narcissists are. So I always see through them. You see, so they are never. King Saul was a typical narcissist. So he justified his disobedience with God to God with an action to please God. I brought the animals to please God. What you have done, is it right or wrong? He can't isolate that act from the fact that I want to please God. Whether I want to please God or not is not the issue. That's secondary. But what have you done? You have done wrong. Admit it. Apologize. Be forgiven. Then you change. That is why those people, they never change. Because they always believe that is not how they are. They only behave that way as a reaction.
Right.
Exactly. So you see that such people preach loyalty a lot, but they're never loyal to anyone. You understand? Because they believe that whenever they are disloyal to you, it is because of what
Something
you did.
you did.
So they are terrible husbands, they are terrible head pastors, they are terrible leaders. They are very dangerous people, but because they are very effective in what they do, it masks, what they do. I mean, we're on national television. I was going to give you even presidents that are like that, even globally. So they use bully tactics to get everybody. Some use their anger to control you. Some use their tantrum. Some leverage their popularity.
Right.
So I know, Biadela, the way people accept me, if you accuse me, nobody will listen to you. So they mess you up, and then they are kind to a few people who will become their advocates in public. That, oh, this guy is not a beast like that. He even dashed me a car. Oh, he paid my rent. He paid my hospital bill. You say, how can you say about such a nice man? You see, so it's a game plan. You understand? So if you realize when his advocacy was benefiting some political actors, they were quiet.
Right.
But they didn't understand that you come. So whenever you have a narcissist, you have to deal with them decisively because what they are doing to others, it's a matter of time they will turn on you. You understand? So you see that two narcissists were working together to win power. Now they are they're against each other and they've separated in another international space. You understand? Because they are very deeply opinionated. Nobody wants to succumb to the other. So you have to watch out for some of this. That's why I think that such people, it is when they are constricted, in a confined space. Right? They reflect. When they reflect and they come to terms with their actions, then you are able to now get professional help to come in to deal with. Because oftentimes it's psychological.
Right.
It's a cry for attention. It's something defective in their upbringing. You see, like you are bringing up your child, and you would rather comfort them when they misbehave than discipline them. Or when you discipline them, you comfort them. Or the other parent will be like, oh, Kweku, don't mind mommy. You see, so then it's registered in their subconscious that, okay, so all those who correct me are like mommy, they don't like me. All those who comfort me when I'm being corrected are like daddy, they are my lovers.
Right.
So that the person has a very distorted worldview. So even in parenting, both of you have to really agree on what your discipline is and never budge no matter what. So sometimes these are just, so I believe that Ralph has a challenge that we can't see from his actions. But in therapy, you would see that thing will be able to be revisited by the therapist, and that thing can be worked on, and he will become such a great activist. So he'll be an activist who uses right methods. You understand? You know the guy in, is it Malenga or Joseph something? He's also in South Africa. Killed the Boer, killed the white people thing, and Trump even mentioned it when the South African president
Ramaphosa went there.
Exactly. You see, so there's also an activist, but you see that his methods run countercultural and antisocial. Yet you see Mandela also was the activist, but he's loved by the people.
Right.
Because he uses, so it's the same like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. So one person, we don't need to be violent, but we can be heard in the public space. Let's actually kill them. If you get the white guy, kill him too.
Kill them all.
You get that kind of thing. So you see that their activism can make you want to put them in the same category.
Right.
But they are not the same. When you study the methodologies, you realize clearly that they are not the same. Kwame Nkrumah was that kind of activist using social defiance, but never shot a bullet. You see, so it's always that if you are not careful and you're only looking at the end product, you make a mistake. And oftentimes, those people are the believers in the end justifies the means. Irrespective of the methodology, once you are getting the end, it's okay. It's
because
not
he
okay.
keeps saying that I love Ghana. If you're somebody who is around me, you know that.
So they are the ones that will beat their wife and tell you, I love you. Look at the lavish wedding I gave you. Look at the car I bought for you. Look at the house we live in. Show me what I have not done for you. I provide for the children. All that. You say, but don't delay my meals. You say, when you delay my meals, I can't stand hunger. So the thing is you are the one making me beat you. You see, so most of when you marry a narcissist, over time you lose your identity.
Right.
Because you begin to think that until I become all that he wants me to become, I'm not enough. But the other type who is fighting for your love in the same way, sees that it looks like Biadela just can't prepare meals on time. So what do I do? Then they begin to adapt mechanisms to cope with your deficiency, because they've seen that they've mentioned it once, twice, thrice. You are making an effort, but it's not working. So then how do we still stay husband and wife without this thing becoming the dividing point? Because she takes good care of the children, she respects me, she supports my visions and my dreams, and that is what I need in a wife. This meal thing should not become the main thing that should make me dismiss the other 90%.
Right.
But the narcissist would stick on the 10% and let you think that all that 90% will not matter until this 10% works. Then you lose yourself, you lose your sanity. So some even go crazy because they don't know who they are anymore. Suddenly you said the lady has aged. And the women, there are narcissist women also who do that to men.
Wow. These are questions that we don't ask.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even, but you, I mean.
And no, the signs show
right?
in courtship. It's only we ignore it because we think that, oh, he's protective of me. Oh, he's very jealous about me. As for my man, I'm the center of his attention. Be careful. This where are you type of phone calls. They are all clear signs. I don't remember in 19 years asking my wife, where are you? When are you coming? I mean, she's told me where she is. I either believe it or not. I am not omnipresent. I would not be able to know if she tells me she's in Accra when she's actually in Kokomlemle. So you just believe, work with it. One day I told my wife that, God forbid, if I ever came to meet you with a man on our bed naked, I would ask for your report. If you tell me that we are not doing anything, that is what I will take.
Wow, interesting.
You see, because you have a choice to believe what your eye is seeing and divorce, or believe what your spouse is telling you and stay married. Check the consequence now. If you can't handle the consequence of the heartbreak, Charlie, take what she is saying and then get her help such that she will not be moving around with naked men. That's all. Get her to cover up, keep the naked men away, and then keep your cargo by yourself.
Pull the skirt down. Hallelujah.
So
when you put it like that.
Yeah, I use practical examples that
I tell you,
even Gen Zs can relate.
It's fantastic, actually.
Yeah.
Well, so I chanced on something. We're going to talk about Wasi, the invigilator's phone that was seized by the armed forces and all that. I chanced on a story yesterday where some of the female students, the candidates.
Writing the Wasi.
Writing the Wasi. They found out that some of them had family planning implants.
Yeah, it's a precautionary measure.
Against what?
Premature pregnancy.
At what age?
In South Africa, it's even common. Some take their kids, immediately they start menstruating, 12 years, 11, and get the shot.
We don't do that here in Ghana. You only get to do that when you're exposed to some level of lifestyle.
Look, Biadela, I have a dog in my house. It's called Skippy. He stayed with us all his life. He never comes close. We've never petted him before because he just doesn't come close. So I always warn people who come that please don't try and do because I know how my dog behaves. He may get embarrassed. You do and he will turn and walk away. So I'm sure some of these parents, they know how their children are top strikers. You understand? And they sincerely want to make sure that these kids stay focused. Look, some of these, our children, sometimes not even so much as your parenting. You see, but sometimes the devil can lay hold on them. They can come into certain company and they pick up behavior that all your counseling and advice seems to fall on deaf ears. So some of these parents, they just move into the preventive mode. I saw this very thing. I saw the article on my son's school page. It was shared there, actually. And it was a huge debate, those for and against. I will not advocate for that. I would use all the possible means of raising my children and getting them counseling and all that. I don't even see that as a last resort. But some of these children, look, you'll be surprised that some of these parents who have taken these steps are tired of the abortions. I have pastored girls that told me that their first 2-3 abortions, they were taken to the abortion clinic by their mom. The first girl, her younger sister, and I'm told the last one also has visited the clinic. It's the community they stay in, and I mean, one of the girls, right, in her situation, she actually took seed on the table in the public market.
Excuse me, say what?
The table. She was laid on the table in the market, in the community. And so in the act, the mom comes to push the young boy away, drag the daughter. Test shows that it has entered. And then she cleared it for her. And it's not like she was being raped. I mean, just to make it clear. You understand? So people live in communities where at a certain age, if you have not known a man or you have not known a girl, you are teased in a certain funny way, you suffer social ridicule, and you can't even relate with certain classes of your age group. They don't even accept, look at this guy, he's dull, look at his walking. Because, so then they just, some people actually plan their fornication, not for pleasure. Like, oh, you have not done it, I have not done it. Oh, your guys are laughing at me too, my girls are laughing at me, Charlie, let's meet over there. Sometimes just behind some tree somewhere. And it happens. So when you do this kind of work, you hear stories, you hear very scary stories.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was actually talking to one of my colleagues just this morning. We're talking about it because we're just looking at the rate of indiscipline in our schools. And I was telling them that I was once part of this village evangelism thing. And I met a little girl. And she was in GHS3. The father was just drunk, lying on the floor. And she was pregnant, And she said that in her within her circle of friends, if you are by GHS3, you don't have a child.
They insult you with it. When you have a quarrel with someone, what is now when you are talking about women in this community, do you belong to the class of women? Where is your child? So that's it. I mean, look, people's socio-cultural belief systems is crazy.
What can the church do about this? Because it's huge, bigger than I thought, actually.
Yeah, so in my case, for instance, I tried to help. In the end, I was almost eaten. So I think those are some of the mistakes. I mean, when you are counseling ladies that are quite experienced in some of these things, it's always better that you allow same genders to handle the issue, because they even see your vulnerabilities when you don't see. I mean, they have dealt with big boys. You know what I'm saying? They want to bam with the big boys. I'll say, so you, pastor, innocent brother, all you know is John chapter 3, Ephesians 4, and this type of Galatians 5, Leviticus and Numbers. You can't bam with the big boys, So they want to bam. So that's the first caution I would give, that in our attempt to help, we should get people of similar genders. I mean, don't give a guy who is a top-notch striker to a lady counselor. If you are not careful, before you know, the counselor is being counseled in another field. And I think we must be very deliberate in reaching out to such people. And when we do, we must allow for both discipleship and professional help. You see, because often that's where the church is missing it. And it's one of the things that I learned when I was doing my theological study, that I'm advocating for very strongly, that the church should start, even if you have to pay for some of our mature women and men to go to do the professional licensed counselor courses, because we need that. There are some things that it's yes, the spiritual element is that we can pray for them, we can do deliverance, we can take them to discipleship, right? But there is something that the professional psychologist and counselor does, that we must allow room for that, because sometimes we've dealt with the demons, but there are traumas that people have suffered in their growing up phases, in their working life, at the uni level, certain kinds of belief systems they imbibe along the way, that the demons have left, but those belief systems could continue to visit them, from time to time. And with counseling, we can really deconstruct and reconstruct some of these mindsets so that people can be truly free. I mean, I always use myself as an example. As a young guy, scripture union, full of fire, but I was struggling with masturbation and porn and all that. Who will you tell back then in our day in scripture? Hey, brother, actually, you can now. They'll organize deliverance for you and put all sorts of sputum on your head, the name of praying in tongues, and you'll be embarrassed, and they'll tell everybody to be careful about you. This guy is quite dangerous. He can make you fall. So we dealt with these things. We struggled for years. And when God brought us out, I needed to do a lot of unlearning,
Right.
on my own, read around to really help me to reorganize my life. Because if you're not even careful, even in marriage, in your sex life, you find more contentment doing it with yourself than with your wife. So even being able to stay and not, quote unquote, ejaculate premature, because people who have that, some even suffer premature ejaculation.
Right.
They can even have fertility issues because of, just spawning their seed on constant. There are challenges that underlie. The doctors will tell you that. So I really needed to work on myself. Who could I really open up to? But I'm sure that if there was that professional space where confidentiality is respected and you are helped out, I would have gotten help even much earlier. So when I had to deal with church members who have some of these, I try to recommend them to some of these materials I've read. And I look at people now more with a compassionate eye than a judgmental position, because I realized my struggle. One day I shared on campus about my journey with masturbation and porn and how I broke off. I was shocked the crowd that kept coming Nicodemously to my room to see me. And some of the guys were some of the people that I seriously respected. I mean, they were people I would rather go to for advice.
Assistant Jesus.
And they opened up to me. I said, wow. Sometimes I said, are you too? Because they used to call us elders. I said, Elder, yeah, Charlie, it's not a joke. Then we have to walk the journey. Yeah. So people are broken. I mean, can you imagine this JHS girl? And she grows up in this sort of social-cultural setting and becomes born again and is married, There'll be a struggle with infidelity in the subconscious, because some of those conversations will play out, especially when there's tension at home. The man is not being nice. They're like, look, don't mind him. Look at the options you had back then when you were living in, your uncle's place. Then, you start to look at all these, and especially those who have had multiple sexual partners, both male and female. There's always something you compare your partner to. Oh, Charlie, Kwesi, by now, Charlie, to me, Janasu 2 hours, cry on bread. Look at this guy. Look at how he's snoring. You see, you are not discontented because he's not a good sexual partner or a good husband. You're only discontented because of what you've tasted. You understand? Because now there's something to compare with. So that is where the challenge comes. So even I tell people in my church that Scripture is not trying to cut us from pleasure. God is so interested in just helping, because when you have multiple partners, this is a struggle you live with. The one who hasn't has peace. So really, God is like people are fornicating, he's angry, they are doing something I can't do. No. But he's helping you. Every single instruction in the Bible, if you look carefully, it's always a help to you. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I've never heard any hula baloo about the price of Guinness going up. When I go to a place and they have to take my blood to help some, I'm O negative, I'm a universal donor. I never worry that they'll come and tell me, hey, there's HIV virus. You see, so there's a certain peace. So I tell people, even if there was no heaven, I would choose this life because the quality it brings to me.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's so nice. You live and you are cool. I mean, cool. So, yeah, it's a big issue. It's a big issue.
No. But then that also scares me. If this is what we're experiencing now, then what's next?
I'm equally scared, honestly. That's why I carry my son with me most times. And when I have a chance, I do that with our daughters. Listen, parents, and I'm saying this in the camera, parents, I'm begging all of us, don't get too busy that you don't know your children. I know a man who bought a basketball for his son on his birthday because he thought that was his favorite sport. He had forgotten. I mean, they had not discussed that since I think the boy was 7 or 8. And this guy was nearing his teens. And he said, I'm just looking at this basketball and laughing at my dad because I'm a diehard Chelsea fan. His interest has shifted. He's now into soccer. He's now into Chelsea. He knows the players' transfer fees that were charged. And dad is still stuck on the basketball court. But the boy has moved on long ago. When we see our sons' voices breaking, pubic hairs coming, we must start having the adult conversations. Sometimes we must be humble enough to tell them, I made a mistake here and there and there. So don't judge me. I'm imperfect. I want you to do better. And let's tell our stories so that our sons will start life standing on our shoulders and not on the ground floor where we began. You see, other than that, yeah, it's scary out there. It is. I know people my son's age, they are shisha experts. They bet like hell. All sorts of stuff. It's crazy. And sometimes parents travel and I don't want them to call relatives. So then we leave dollars for that. I know a girl like that, a pastor's child. They left dollars for her. I saw the videos myself, not somebody, a very popular pastor in Ghana. You know, the girl was on a yacht, smoking, drinking from the bottle, you know, this cognac and things with her friends on her 21st birthday, bikini, fooling around, messing around, you know, and all that. I said, wow. And I don't think this man is irresponsible or is reckless, you know, but we can't always get it right. And we need help. You know, we need the help. So we need the help.
When the reality sets in these kind of conversations, I don't know, I literally get lost, you know, because then I'm beginning to say thank you to my parents, you know, for some of the disciplines and all that. But then what are we learning?
May God help us.
Oh, Jesus better do, because I mean, talking about South Africa, South Africa's HIV fight against is at risk because U.S. aid cuts actually took about $427 million support. So the fight against HIV program. I mean, I just brought it up because
it's been threatened. I mean, you can understand. That. You can understand. I mean, I just hope and pray that they will be able to cut off some things in the budget and find, you know, the resource. I mean, the quantum of the amount alone should tell you the volume of human population that will be affected.
It says more than 63,000 people depend on just 12 clinics.
Antiretroviral
medications. And it's so 63,000 people to 12 clinics.
Whoa, that's a ratio.
Yeah.
I'm sure they need to just find the money, because, and Mr. Trump, we beg you, some of these things you have to consider. Your good friend was a South African man called Elon Musk, so remember his countrymen. Elon, these are your people. Please send some of the Tesla money and help out, because
it's sad. It's really sad. Anyway, Rev, we have to go.
Yeah.
How is it that we don't have a lot of very jolly stories? You know, like, yay, we've done this and we've done this and we've done that.
There are
an airplane or something like that. It looks like the negatives just really flood and all that. But we just hope that the elections go, or the by-elections go well, without any casualties. Let's just go and vote and go home. You won't die. Right. Okay. So
I think you got a response from someone.
Yes.
They let you funny.
Right. Anyway, thank you so much, Reverend BB.
It's a pleasure.
I particularly enjoyed this because, I mean, it's not even about the news, but the lessons we learn. It's amazing. God bless you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we're going to go for a break, and when we get back, we'll do sports. But let's be responsible, really. It starts from you. Yeah.
May the fire of God consume my heart. Lord, I want the love of God. You need to tell that devil, you are not taking away my life.
Let's reach souls together on Africa's Ministry Spotlight, a dedicated blog on Dominion TV for African ministries to showcase their content.
The Holy Ghost work with Holy Ghost filled preaching. How can they call upon him of whom they have not believed? How can they believe of whom they have not heard? How can they hear without a preacher?
Expand your media outreach in 48 countries across the continent of Africa. Join the likes of Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, Reverend Eastwood Anaba, Bishop Gregory Toussaint, and many more as we push the kingdom of God. Reach out to Dominion TV today through the contacts on your screen or on our socials at My Dominion TV. Africa's Ministry Spotlight, reaching souls far and wide.
DStv means choosing. amazing acting,
Face friending while streaming.
front row at the gaming and super fanning while on the going, winning, binging and blockbustering. While others are white ricing, you're jolloffing.
This looks so good.
With something for everyone, anything is possible when you're DSTVing. Start today with all sorts of packages to match your
MedShay, natural mosquito repellent, highly recommended by Ministry of Health, CHAS and GS. Lab tested by Noguchi Medical, field trialed by Atomic Energy Commission. It has no chemical or side effects and is good for all ages and skin type. MedShea is available nationwide. For purchases, distributions, bulk supply, and export. Call us now or WhatsApp +2 332 4489 2413 or +2 3354 02888200. Email us at info@northstoneltd.com or medshay@gmail.com. MedShea, the natural way to keep mosquitoes away. This advert is approved by FDA.
Greetings, welcome to Bishop G Live.
Get ready for the supernatural.
You can be a believer and it still looks like your life makes no sense whatsoever. We're gonna give you the most important key to help you discover your purpose in life. If you miss the glory of God, you've missed everything.
Join Bishop Gregory Toussaint from Miami, Florida, USA. Bishop G Live, every weekday at 7:30 p.m. only on Dominion TV.
We go around just making statements that are not even biblical. God reveals to redeem. It's not in the Bible. God reveals so we can walk, so we can enforce the word of God and the scriptures over the enemy's intent. Any hope and expectation the enemy has concerning your family and your loved one, by the eternal blood of Jesus, we override that hope. We override that expectation. Put your hands together and override it.
The Voice of Inspiration, weekdays and Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. only on Dominion TV.
Barca's season is up and running. Save! Spain are the champions of the world!
Sports Break on Dominion TV.
Are you ready for the drama? I'm trying. Come on, everybody, let's go. Come on. Hey. Come on, everybody, I'm trying. Come on, I'm trying. Hey, I'm trying. Come on. Are you
Aside the fact that I'm worried about what we spoke about, I mean, I still can dance, right? Anyway, let's get on with sports. I don't think there's any bad news there. We're just running and doing exercise in the name of the Lord. Callistus? Yeah. What's up with you?
A lot's been happening. Today's Tuesday.
Yes,
Yeah, and I
fantastic
guess-
Tuesday. How do we call Tuesday? Terrific Tuesday?
Terrific Tuesday.
That's when you buy pizza, get one, buy one and get one free, right?
I think so, but also in the world of the Lotto stakers, that's what they call it. Terrific Tuesday.
Terrific
NLE.
Tuesday.
Yeah, so National Lottery Authority.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so Terrific Tuesday. So
I see.
I'm not sure you're a staker.
No.
Okay, that's
The
fair,
Bible
that's
says
fine.
that get rich quick schemes are dangerous.
Yeah, very dangerous.
We don't want
yeah.
those ones. Don't worry,
Yeah.
still this.
But it's an investment, though. I
it's
think
a
it's an
terrible investment. Thank you very much.
Anyway, Kylian Mbappe has 3 goals in 2 matches. The new number 10 for Real Madrid.
Number
He's
10
been
is not a
so
joke.
well.
Do you
Yeah,
get what
I
I
tell you,
mean?
yeah.
We're not number 10 for jokes.
No, it's not for
please.
fun. Charlie. In 2 matches this season, he has 3 goals already.
Wow.
And it looks like he's on fire like never before. People are saying, oh, he's struggling with Real Madrid and all that. But Charlie, the guy is settled and is banging in the goals like never.
I know,
never
right?
before. And,
I chanced on
this-
some of the matches on Sunday.
Yeah.
I think Fulham and
Manchester United. Yeah, of course. I know you'll be watching that game.
why
You saw
would
the
I watch?
results, right?
I watch,
So, your coach, Ruben Amorim, has 29 points in 28 games.
Oh.
Averaging 1 point per game, and that's so bad, like a relegated team, because you play like 38 matches in a season. So in 29 matches, if you have 28 points, that's so bad for a coach like Ruben Amorim for Manchester United. And I dare say, if things continue
Let's
like
do
this,
sports.
maybe United will drop
We're not
down
dropping.
to
Don't
championship.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't do
that's
that.
if things
United
doesn't change.
is not
Yeah.
dropping.
Okay, United is not dropping. Let's see. We have a long way to go in December before we cross to the next
Callistus,
year.
be positive. Don't do that.
Oh, no, I'm very positive.
Yes.
That's why I'm just cautioning him that as things stand, clubs that have gone on relegation, this is what they churn out. This is the results. This is the outcome. Points per game ratio. So that's it. So if it doesn't sit up, I'm
We'll
telling
sit
you.
up. We're having a meeting after this show.
All right. Thank you
I'll
very
talk
much.
to him anyway.
Sure.
Take it away.
All right, thank you very much. This is Sports Break right here on Wake Up Africa on Dominion TV, Africa's first network for lifestyle network for inspired and inspired living. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with more stories. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back, and this is Sports Break right here on Wake Up Africa on Dominion TV. Now, I tell you, sports is a $500 billion project, and unfortunately in Africa, we are yet to scratch the surface of the project here in Africa. But hey, let me take you to our very first story, and it's from the world of Moto Grand Prix. On TV with me, Carl the Sports Junior. I'll go for a quick break. When we come back, be the lights in the seats to stay affairs right here on Wake Up Africa. Bye.
MedShay, natural mosquito repellent, highly recommended by Ministry of Health, CHAS and GS, lab tested by Noguchi Medical, field trialed by Atomic Energy Commission. It has no chemical or side effects and is good for all ages and skin type. MedShea is available nationwide. For purchases, distributions, bulk supply, and export. Call us now or WhatsApp +2 332 4489 2413 or +2 3354 02888200. Email us at info@northstoneltd.com or medshay@gmail.com. MedShea, the natural way to keep mosquitoes away. This advert is approved by FDA.
Welcome back. Now it's time for us to get into this conversation that really is important. What are we talking about? We're talking about the care of your children. Now, children lately have been raised by many things. Social media is part of them. Nannies and all the crazy things have been part of them. But the effect of the screen on the growth of your child is really huge. Do you know that the screen is a contributor to even child trafficking lately, pedophilic activities and all of that? Now, today we want to delve into what children see when they watch TV and the effect that has even on their behavior and all of that. And then to help us do that discussion, we have joined us via Zoom, Unique Norman. She is like a child care activist, and she's been doing this for some time now, going places with her message. And she's here to actually unpack some knowledge onto us, what we should know about child care and going beyond that. Hi, Unique.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you too?
I'm alive and well.
Fantastic. It's great. So, I mean, it's good to have you on the show. I've read quite a bit about you, and I know that you're poised for great things, for change. You challenge the norm, and it's actually an honor to have you on the show talking about all the beautiful things that we're about to, talk about. But how's ministry? How are you juggling ministry and life? How's it going all the way?
It is a lot. I used to be like really chunky, but now I'm small. Once I started it, I'm just kidding. But no, it is kind of, we wear more than one hats, right? Because not only do I run my ministry, but I also run my parents' ministry. Like I do all their video edits, I do all their conference and et cetera. So I just keep balance, but at the same time, I still make sure that I have my rest time. I try to as much as I can, because you got to have wisdom. Your body is meant to rest. So I don't give out too much more in the ministry more than I have to, because that's not wisdom.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Anyway, well, straight up, let's get into media and then advertising, using screen, mainly focusing on children, right? How extensive has your work been in that area? And how have you been able to, change lives? Any testimonies or anything that you can really share, even before we get into the modalities of it?
Oh, absolutely. Of course. I love your hair, by the way. I love it.
Thank you, girl.
Yes. So you're so welcome. So basically, there's several. So I do travel a lot. And speaking of ministry, so I have gone to other places where they were too scared to share with their parents. They didn't want to talk about it. So once they talk to me, or sometimes I just call it out, whatever he shows me. And then sometimes the parents don't even know. And then that's been broken, and they have the chance to go ahead and be vocal and talk about it. Okay. And also I did a specific teaching also on Clubhouse where I was exposing the pedophile symbols. It had a lot of views, but of course, Facebook, they erased it, but I'm gonna put it back. on there, but it was exposing. And then one of the ladies was like, you know what? I saw one of the symbols when I was watching the Disney Channel. I canceled my membership. My child will no longer be watching that channel. So being vocal and being advocate and then showing demonstrations will help, with the information.
That's fantastic. I actually saw that where girls the pedophile symbols, child liking children, liking girls, and then liking boys. And I thought that, okay, these are like very regular things that we see on products and all of that. But take us quickly through what the difference between grooming and edging marketing, in line with this.
Yes. By the way, just so you know, pedophiles prefer online. They're not doing the, hey, I'm going to give you ice cream and candy, follow my truck.
Okay.
Just an FYI. That had changed. So grooming, which is still prevalent, grooming are in churches. Sometimes it's pastors, sometimes it's leaders. Absolutely. Sometimes this is actually a true case where they pretend like they're a member and they want to have like a youth meet and whatnot, and then they take some children. So they groom you. But it's slowly before they get to that, they play the part. Oh, you're okay. I noticed you don't have a father. Okay, I noticed that you feel like an outcast. I know that you're dealing with rejection. Okay. So let me offer you something that money can't buy. Oh, okay, you like flashy clothes. Let me give you some clothing and whatnot. So inside grooming can be where they pretend like they want to be like your father figure or even mother figure. And to be honest, kids can groom other kids too, because they are training kids, young in schools, bathrooms, churches, anywhere you can go to train them how, to pretend like they're their friend or pretend to be an age that they're not. And that's the grooming. Now, edging part is totally different. So how do they get you? Okay, with some kids, I know you like candy. So what are they going to do? One of the apps they use is called Roblox. Okay. And what it is that it's kind of like Legos, where you create you create a house, it's kind of a fantasy. So what is it that it's a fantasy that's dislocating the kids from reality. Okay. So what do they do with behind these pedophiles? Create this little fantasy of something that kids like, or teenagers like. And some kids has been groomed. There's another app called Likey. That's I think it was founded in Singapore, I believe, where it caters to 10 to 15-year-olds. And what happened is when the kids put their information on, it automatically finds their location. So what is it? It's similar to TikTok. Okay, you like music. So I'm going to see how I can groom you into what music you like, because they're pedophiles. They also call the Likey app, it's another word for that, is pedophile paradise. Fortnite, they use apps that where you talk to your kids verbally, and it's really demonic, because they actually have it to where I forgot I think his name was Mephisto, where it's a demon in hell, and if you want to get health, you want to get wealth, you have to sell your soul, and that's demonic right there. So they could get you in all kinds. So they say, you know what? I can't get to your kids in person, but I could get to them online and find out their location. All I gotta do is flash something that kids like, and boom, I got your kid's location, just like that.
Wow. Now that's really huge.
It is.
That is big. So let's get into how parents would be able to streamline when they see these things, how they'll be able to create boundaries for these kids. Because you also don't want to create kids, or you don't want to raise kids that are, not social people. Are you catching the flow? So how then, as a parent, do you create boundaries? How do you do it so that your kids are not too much into the life of other people, and then, but they're still being nice to people?
Right, of course. So one of the apps that I mentioned was Roblox. So she noticed, and I noticed that when I was studying, all the parents said the same thing. They said it became addictive. They never seen that side of their child, which is such an addiction. So they had to cut them from the app. So when you see certain apps, find out what they're on. It's okay to be like, okay, what are you doing? You pay the bills. You could do that. It's okay. But be like, hey, what's on your app? Let me play with you. Okay, let me see what's going on. You could have parental settings that can block it to where only, not all apps though. To be honest with you, no app is really safe. I'm just going to be honest with you. No app is really safe. Right. I'm just going to let you know that right now. But what you can try to do is do the settings and tell them, all right, I'm going to give you 2 hours for this day. Okay. Or I'm going to give you 3 hours for this day. Make a rule with them. All right, you could be on it, but still teach them and make them aware what it is, So you don't just cold turkey them. Hey, the reason why I'm removing this from you is because of, point A, point B. They could track you. Or I noticed with this particular app, which is Roblox, is not good. Our Fortnite is not good. I don't feel comfortable with it. It's demonic. And I'm explaining it to you in depth and why. Don't come so, condemning them. We don't do that. What does it say? Don't exasperate your kids like it says in Ephesians 6. Talk to them like normal human beings, make it conceivable, make them understand, limit their social media time. But at the same time, if you're going to limit their social media time, I advise you to get them something to replace it to make them actively busy.
I see. So would you advise maybe kids and parents time out, so the screen time is limited and then probably in-person time is a lot more. Say a parent comes home, get to talk to their child, they spend more time talking about how was your day, what do you think about this, as compared to having too much screen time. Would you advise that?
Absolutely. I agree with that, because the thing about it is with some of these parents, and I notice, especially when I talk to the youth, is that we don't need a friend.
Okay.
We don't need a friend. We need a parent. Parent first, friend second. Because when you become a friend, you lose the respect of children and parents. The respect is not there because you're my friend. I don't have to follow your rules. I don't have to respect you. You're not teaching me as a parent. So I don't see you as a parent or a leader. I see you like on the same level as me because you're coming as me like a friend. So it's very important to come to them as a parent, see what they're doing. Like you said, talk to them, communicate with them. Like my nephew, when I notice that he's on the tablet too much, I say, you know what, let's do something. Let's go walking. He likes kickball. We do a little kickball. We talk, we talk about, hey, what's going on. It's important to know what's going on in the school as well, because human trafficking does go into school. Talk about that. If you give them the attention, because if you got to ask yourself, my child on a tablet, internet, what attention are they lacking? Do they not getting enough from you? That's questions you have to find out. Be the parent. You have to advocate and find out so you can know how to go ahead and coordinate that where where this is not their mom and this is not their God.
Fantastic. So now I see it also because I've always been talking about how people let social media and the screens just do parenting for them. It's amazing how, parents now don't do the hard jobs, but then that means that we need to get back. We need to streamline what they look at. We want to be in the business of what they watch and how they go about it. Can you, in a minute, just paint a picture for me? Aside the frequent ads and all of that, what are some of the other tactics that, kind of like capture the mind of these people? Should a parent be watching now?
What besides social media?
Yes, social media and even outside it.
Absolutely. So ask this question, especially when you know this person. Why all of a sudden they're more drawn to your kids than they are to you? And I don't mean as like me, I love kids. I don't mean like, oh my God, I love kids. That's a little bit different. But it's different. Like they're trying to try to get to know more of your kids versus going through the parent first. Okay. That could be like a sign of that. Okay, why do they keep asking me about my child? We talk about the conversation? Okay, yeah. So how's your kid doing? Okay, yeah. So they're off on that Friday, right? Okay, yeah. So that's very suspicious to me. And then notice who hang around your kids as well. Like, why does individual, out of all the 10 kids, why is this one individual eyeing this one little girl? And I'm not talking about the ones who you know and trust and the ones who are there sent by God. I'm not talking about the one who imitate like they are sent by God. So, okay, so why they're targeting this one child? Why is this person only drawn to the kids who don't have a father figure or who feel like an outcast, who's quiet? And you know who else is another target? I don't call them I don't call them special needs. I said their needs are special. Their needs are special kids. Why? Because they can't communicate. So they're also a target that parents need to be mindful outside of social media. When you see church functions, not even church functions, when you see them out with dinner, be aware of who's watching. When you observe, you'll be surprised how you can pick up on your discernment, because discernment is discernment. Something's not right. I experienced this with my nephew. I'm like, why does this person keep looking at my nephew? And I don't play about my baby boy. And don't let me go to God on you. It's a wrap. But yeah, so when you got to be sensitive to this, and whether it's in person, whether it's social media, whether it's on TV, whatever, you have to be aware, because when you're vigilant and alert, the devil can't work.
Right. Right, fantastic. I love that. So, I mean, you need to be alert. You need to be in the business of your children. And it's one of the things that parents do lately. And so they kind of like just leave. I mean, who would want to ask you more questions about your children than yourself? How it is that you're so interested in our children more than ourselves? That's not a very good sign. So it's something that we really need to look at. But let's get on with human trafficking, because, starting from kids and now let's get on to human trafficking. Some people think that it's just something that happens in movies, right? It's like they just play themes and all of that after the movie, that's it. Do we have it happening in real time? And have you ever, touched on cases where people are being abducted or going through some sort of human trafficking?
Absolutely. And also, I recommend this movie. It's called Sound of Freedom. Okay. Go check that movie out. It's a true story about how one of the perpetrators do it. And remember, it's not just men that do it. Women are in it too. And unfortunately, I hate to say this, kids are in this well.
What?
So the thing about it, yes, the kids they train them to do that. Some of the kids, teenagers, it happens more frequently than what people realize. Okay. So it's a lot close to home. I'll tell you why, because it'd be your own family members. There's actually one young man that we're going to have at our conference where his mother and father will pimp their children out, where they got raped by other ministers. They will have like a line outside of there. Some will want the daughter and some will want the son. And that's close to home. And that was from their own parents. Incest, which is not talked about enough. It could be siblings as well who do the human trafficking. We actually say the girl on Clubhouse who was being human trafficked by her uncle, but we were able to save her and stop it in time. It's actually on recorded. And we can actually stop and save time. So it could be your close to you. It could be your teachers. Teachers do it as well. Doctors, actually, they have a system in their database where they send it to pedophiles. They let you know the size of the child's height. They let them know they have a parent. They let them know what they look like. And even sometimes, what does that mean? Oh, and even sometimes they would even like I said, like put like a target on them, a tracker in the teddy bear that they give them. So don't take gifts. Do not take gifts from nobody that you don't know. Even if you don't know, make sure your discernment is up to know to take it or not, because you don't know if there's a tracker. And I forgot to mention that's another way how they get to your children. Doctor's office be on it, and that's close to home. Your family members, that's close to home. Teachers, that's close to home. Sometimes ministry, and that's close to home. No, it could be anyone. Your Uber driver. There's been a case where the Uber drivers was tracking this young girl, and they happened to find her. And now they have it on apps. You guys noticed they was trying to hush it down to where they could track, and if you feel unsafe, they don't hear from you, they immediately report the police, so this won't happen. It's a system where pedophiles meet up. Just like you have quotas. All right, we need this amount of quotas for this budget. They have quotas of how to get your children how to make money. All right, guys, we're 10 behind. We need 100 children that we have to take to go ahead and sell to these billionaires and whatnot.
Wow. Is it that these things happen without maybe authorities knowing about it? Because we don't hear a lot of education about it in this part of the world. You know why? Because authorities be in on it too. That's why. No way. I'm going to be honest with you. And I know this from a source, and I'm not just saying this. Things that I'm saying, I witnessed, or I seen a source, or I did my study, because I take this very seriously. This is not entertainment. This is for information and education. So no one won't take you from your destination. So authorities be on it. But when I do so into these platforms that helps with kids with human trafficking, they pay to educate these police officers. But these child molestation symbols that I hope you show that I sent you, some of them I got actually from the Federal Bureau police office. Yeah, I saw that. So yeah. So it is on there, but sometimes they be on it. And the thing about it is one of the most money in this world, especially in the United States, is made off selling children or human trafficking. So in their heads, why would they try to stop that when it's lucrative to them? Unfortunately, it's unacceptable, but it's the truth. This is unfortunate, I must say. But let's get to the home. How then do we start to prepare their minds, that about these things? These things are real. But then in the process, you don't scare them off, right? So how do you prepare the mind of a teenager or someone who's younger than that about these things and not scare them off? Real quick.
Right. Just give them demonstration, because it's really sad. Just let them know the facts. Let them know the difference between reality and not reality.
Okay.
Real and what's not fake. And this is real stuff. With little kids, I love songs. I'm a songwriter. I could play it in a song. I could do a storytelling. Make it informative, but also make it like it's serious, because African American women, they go missing in human trafficking by 40%. African children go missing by 74%. And in Ghana, it's 75%. In Ghana, it's every 22 minutes. In America, because some of you people are going to be watching America, it's 1.5 minutes. So this is very serious. So you can explain the numbers without them scaring them, but let them know that this is serious, like explain to whatever level they're on. And when you do that and show demonstration and come from a sincere place, with love, and not just like, hey, you better, because you keep scrolling them, they're gonna reject it, right? I was a young child. I was a perfect young child. I might rebel maybe 1 or 2 times, maybe 3 or 4. But you grow out. You grow out of that. But if you come to them and make it conceivable for the level that they understand, and show example of these kids and adults that we're not just saying it, we want to make sure that you are safe. And I talk to them, and my goddaughters always say, I know God, mama, but you know what? They listen though. So that's the important part.
Great conversation, and this is something that you all want to get glued on. Join us on our socials as My Dominion TV. Like, share, and drop comments, and be a part of this discussion. We're going to go for a quick break now, and then when we get back, this discussion continues. Do stay.
MedShay, natural mosquito repellent, highly recommended by Ministry of Health, CHAS and GS. Lab tested by Noguchi Medical, field trialed by Atomic Energy Commission. It has no chemical or side effects and is good for all ages and skin type. MedShay is available nationwide. For purchases, distributions, bulk supply, and export. Call us now or WhatsApp +2 332 4489 2413 or +2 3354 02888200. Email us at info@northstoneltd.com or medshay@gmail.com. MedShay, the natural way to keep mosquitoes away. This advert is approved by FDA.
So welcome back. We've been having a discussion with Minister Unique Norman, and she's just been pouring her heart out about stuff that happens to children and things that parents have to really target, be concerned about. In the 21st century, other people parent your children for you, and there's no telling what these kids will come out to look like. And so she's been telling us about human trafficking and all the many things, that the ordeals that children actually face, and the way that we can help it. Unique?
Yes.
Great. So tell me, ideally, how does advertisement, affect the mind of a child? So how long should a child have a screen time as compared to adults?
Well, for that, it depends on the child. But in general, what I think is what it should be like no more than like 2 hours a day, if that. Because think about it, that 2 hours, that system has your child, if you think about it. Mm-hmm. If you really think about it, they already got it for the 2 hours. They could be learning or doing other stuff that's informative, but they already got their kid for 2 hours. And eventually, if they keep doing it consistently for 2 hours, what happens? It's a habit. I have to do it. I'm addicted. I don't want nothing else. What do you mean I can't be on my tablet? It's kind of like a drug. People think addiction could be only drugs. Addictions can be social media, internet. Addiction can even be you addicted to drama and gossip. That all falls in line, to be honest with you. So when it comes to that, Screen time, I would say a little bit the less is better, besides if they're doing it for educational purpose. Even then, you still want to monitor it so it won't be the norm that they always depend on, social media versus getting the information by studying. Go back to books. Kids still like to read, believe it or not. Go back to books. There's other opportunities to do where they can learn where they won't just be so affected by 2 hours of media time, because those 2 hours can also train the mindset of a child. Remember, statistics-wise says you have up to a child until they're 8 or 9 years old. By the time they're 8 and 9 years old, they're already into their personality and what they're going to be as they get older.
Right. So how then do companies use all these tunes and mascots and all of that to capture the mind of the child? How vulnerable are children when they watch these things?
Very vulnerable, because first of all, they're not experienced. And, so they're going to target them. They're going to target them on Snapchat. They could target them on cartoons. So how do they use that? They be like, okay, if I can't get to the parents, I'm going to get to the kids. For example, that movie coming out is wicked. It's demonic. So what? It's catering to kids so the parents can take them, not knowing they're releasing those spirits to your children, that it's okay to be friends with witches. That's another way on the platform that they could use advertisement to manipulate. It's manipulation. That's what it is. You cannot be friends with no witch. And Snapchat, okay. Do you know on Snapchat they use AIs? AIs can also be used to get your kids. I could create an avatar and I could change a voice that makes me sound like a child. And that's another way that I could get to your kids and influence them. Hey, you should come and do this on Snapchat. This is really cool. Oh, that's awesome. You like this lifestyle? Where are you located at? Oh, I'm located in Miami. Oh, no way. I'm located in Miami as well. We should come do some business together. That's another way how they can manipulate the situation with kids and little kids with tablet as well. And how do you think these pedophiles know this? Because some of these pedophiles are the ones that are behind social media. Who works in social media.
Right. So they're catching the kids even without the kids knowing it. So just kind of like baiting them to love what they do. And then they give them the cool factor stuff. And then they kind of like love it. And
fashion. Yep. Fashion too. Exactly.
Wow. Tell me the effect of that on their behavior. If there's any behavioral change, should any parent be looking out for these things the moment a child gets into that? What are some of the behavioral changes that we can look out for?
Some of the things could be depression. Why are some of your kids depression? Because it's called bully cyber. What happened is they convince your children to send them like inappropriate pictures. And if they don't send them more, I'm going to threaten you that I'm going to harm you. I'm going to threaten to kidnap you. And it's crazy because actually kids committed suicide because it was cyberbullying. And Kenya, which is Africa, is one of the highest rates of suicide rates with kids, because I visit Kenya as well. But that's one of the ways. Okay, they're depressed. They're isolated. Why do some of they say they have friends with a person they met online? I mean, they haven't met them online. Why is some of your child saying they have a new friend online? That's a red flag. Why the new friend won't meet the parents? That's another red flag. Why they don't want you to know about the friend? They become more secretive, isolated, kind of pushed off, because what happened? The pedophile's job to them is to isolate them and manipulate them to make it think that their parents is after their children. They did a documentary on a pedophile, and the pedophile said one of the things he did to you to lure a child in is to make them think that their parents was after them. That's one of the tools they utilize. It happens years, and they use it to this day. So when you notice like a change, they're a little bit more quiet or even quieter. They don't want to be bothered. They only want to be on their computer. Then you need to go on that computer and see what's wrong. There's a way to get in your kids' business without them knowing, by the way.
Tell me about it.
Without them knowing. Yeah.
Tell me about it. I really want to know.
Yeah, so if you do, I'm not really sure about the apps that they have in Ghana, unfortunately, but this could be all based off of research. So you could go on your research and you'd be like, hey, I'm trying to think of I need to track my kid. I know Apple does it where the kids won't be alert. It's an app you download from Apple, like Track Your Kids. And that's how you could track and see what's going on without them knowing. And they will send you alert if someone, if they're messaging a new person. You will actually have those settings on some of those apps. Not all the apps, for obvious reason. We know why they're not going to put it on obvious apps. They don't want you to know. They have a certain settings that will let you know that they have a new friend, or you could have it to where they can't accept any new friend. So I advise you, if you guys in Africa, go do your research. It's on there. It's accessible and it's available, that you could have it where you could stay connected to your child and they won't even know.
really interesting. On the top of my mind, I'm thinking kids are attracted to certain kind of products, right? So I'm thinking food, maybe books. Those are the kind of advertisement that they might watch, and then these people might use. What other products, are likely to be used to catch the kids in this manner?
Jingles. I mean, think about it. Who was in charge of music in heaven? Who was in charge of music? Mm-hmm. And also another terminology in the word music is mute. Yeah. What it is to mute you, to silence you, to only that you hear only certain things and only be drawn to one things. Jingles are catchy. So if I want your kids to do my products, I'm going to get a catchy songs. I'm going to get the hottest designer, because at the end of the day, we all know this, we all experienced this when we were young. We want to look fly in high school, middle school, even elementary. And these kids are different. They want to look fly now in preschool. Like it's just changing. Like everything is just changing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a character or something to draw your kids that I know that they like. So I sent you one of the child molestation symbols that was on Disney as a cartoon character. They're now realizing they're releasing those symbols, the amount of symbols to your kids. Right. But it's also to let the pedophiles know that we're just like we go to church. There's a cross. All right, we represent Jesus. You're welcome. Pedophiles sense like hitting messages. We welcome pedophiles. So the character was called Zephyr, which was on the show is called Alina of Valor on Disney, but they shut it down once parents started being vocal about the child molestation symbols. They get you with the mascot. With Cecilia, she had the child molestation symbol. The triangle means boy lover. The circle that looks like a six, that looks like a six upside down, that means double boy lover. You saw it, right? Yeah. So it's so many demonstrations that they use sneak-wise to manipulate your kids, but they try to make it hot. Oh, the character Disney, he's friendly. He's not a pedophile. Manipulation.
I see, because I noticed in some of the videos, they put it, on the face, more like a face painting. Some of the characters, and I think I saw a video where a woman went to buy a toy. It was like a car, but then it had all these symbols on it, and then she was quite alarmed, and then she drew the attention of many people. But should you be a parent that sees this or notice that these things are going around, how do you decode these to your children so that, one, they don't turn out being paranoid, two, they're not scared, and then three, they are actually bold enough, confident enough to talk about these things, even to their peers?
Right. Well, first they have to be informed about it. Educate yourself. Just like that young lady who said, wait a second, that toy is a child molestation symbol. She wasn't even a Christian. I'm just saying, so it don't matter you're a Christian or not. You need to be vigilant. Right. My people perish because of the lack of knowledge. Mm-hmm. She wasn't even saved. So if you're praying or doing what you want to do, if you miss it, that's not an excuse. Someone from the world could catch it. You should be able to catch it. Mm-hmm. So all you got to do is be informative about it, demonstrate it, and show the teaching. But at the same time, let them know that this is not to bring you fear. You could be alert and not be scared. Just like, for instance, when you walk across the street, what do you teach your children? Look left and right. Do they get scared when you tell them that? No, because you told them calmly, hey, just to get a heads up, because this could happen, because they understood it. If I don't look left and right, I can get hit. If I don't pay attention to what's going on, they could target me. So there's a way to still educate them, but the parents, they have to be open to it as well, to be educated as well. Something you teach them as early on. When you teach them as early on, by the time, teach your children they want to depart from you. By the time they're older, there's not no fear, there's wisdom.
Great. That's really bold. Tell me about your organization. I know that you've been doing this for how long? How long have you been doing this?
Well, my company foundation, or just like helping kids out in general?
I see. So what's the vision like, and where is it going to?
Yes, I've been doing this for a couple years. I have my clothing line advocating for the children for going on a year, or a couple months, I believe, going on a year. Time goes by so fast. Yeah. So the foundation that I put out and started is to go, obviously, international. My products and stuff ship globally, right? Okay. It goes to Africa. It could go to Europe. It could go to America. And so what my foundation does, it not only bring advocacy this is my clothing right here, what I created. It does not only bring advocacy for advocacy for human trafficking, but it also brings advocacy for kids whose needs are special. I'm actually coming out a couple months where I'm only going to be having clothing line catered to all ages of people whose needs are special for a special design. But my clothing is for everybody. If you go on my website, I have some in a wheelchair. I have one whose needs are special. So it caters to them first because I want them to let them know that it's not a disability. It's an ability and a capability for them to be mobility, to have mobility.
Right. And how often do you get to go to other parts of the world? Because if your merchandise goes to places that probably you haven't gone, they might have not gotten the message.
Oh, I've been to Ghana. I've been to Kenya. I've been to Europe, of course, all aspect of Europe, Germany. So they know about it. But what I like about this is that you guys actually gave me the platform to actually spread it to where it can go internationally versus me have to go to each of the country. Because usually when I do the teaching, it's not always, pertaining to human trafficking. It's other things as well. It just depends. That's why I don't take engagements. I take assignments. Sometimes assignments are different. Holy Spirit might be like, hey, your target for this is specifically about human trafficking. Okay, your target for this might be specifically about depression or what people need to know, not what they need to hear, but what they need to know. So all these places, I've gone to a lot of places. If you go to like uniquenormaninc.org, you will see like the places I've gone to, and it's going to be an expansion. But the mere fact that I'm doing this on Dominion TV, again, I appreciate this, that you're making it aware, because a lot of people don't like to talk about it. And this is definitely one of the starts for me to go ahead and do it more online versus me being there in person. So that's awesome.
Most definitely. Well, our Papa, the Archbishop, is all about healing the land, healing the nations. And if this is what it's going to take, it's one conversation at a time. And so we're always really grateful for him, his anointing, and how he's guiding and guarding us.
And his wife.
Yes, and his wife. Lady Rosa Whittaker Duncan Williams. So paint a picture for me real quick. How this, advocacy has affected families, communities, how you collect feedback. And I'm very sure these are the things that can give you the edge to move on, get to the next family, get to the next individual. Can you tell us some of the things that have happened, the impact, some testimonies, or stuff like that?
Yeah, of course. So as I mentioned about the one who saw the Disney thing and no longer her kids don't even have that. And when I speak to the kids and some of the families didn't even know. So the thing about it is, so I did this. This actually was aired on one of my teachings when I was in the UK. I'm sorry, I can't remember. I know it was African, but I can't remember what part. My apologies. But I was teaching and whatnot. And then the Holy Spirit directed me and said, you need to address this. So he gave me a strategy, like he gave Gideon how to do it. Because in African cultures, it's not mentioned that they were sexually assaulted or raped. So he gave me a strategy how I did it. And then so I didn't force the young man to come up. I knew it was a guy because he showed me the guy, but I act like I didn't know. But I said, this person, and I said what I said. If you come up, you're gonna get your deliverance right now. And a young man came up and he was crying, and that's not normal in that culture, and you know that. They don't admit stuff like that. Right. But he got his breakthrough. Because that's the thing about it is when you tearing down systems and when you come on an assignment, you're going to break protocol. Well, not protocol, I'm sorry. You're going to break the traditions of how you should say and what you shouldn't say. Right. He was suffering in silence. He was suffering in silence that needs to be broken off of him. So when I prayed and God broke it off of him, he was actually, he was one of the ones who was sexually assaulted by his own family members. And so trauma bonds needs to be broken. The Stockholm Syndrome needs to be broken. These are systems that I'm tearing down and that will tear down so it could be exposed and closed. So that's one of the things. That's actually one of my favorite testimonies because I actually saw it. I was actually there in this videotape and it was a man, which was uncommon, that he was one of the ones that got his breakthrough and many more to come.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Because that's deliverance right there. And I mean, the moment you deliver one person, you've saved a number of people that probably you may never reach. And that's a great one. How then do you, because when you deliver people or you preach the gospel to them at the end of the day, they still go back to their communities. They still have same parents. They still have same siblings. they literally, still live in these environments, right? So,
Right.
what would you do? I mean, how do you educate the community, the parents, caregivers, and all of that so that they can give a good support system so that person that you deliver doesn't go back?
Right. Well, they have to get to the root. The problem is that people want to get deliverance without closing portals. That's the problem. You need to find out the root to get your fruit for it to multiply. You have to know how to close down these portals so it won't open. Learn how to pray, have a prayer life, study, educate yourself, study outside the Bible, communicate, like I said, break the barriers of keeping it hush. Every time you keep it hush, portals keep opening. But that's a problem there. The thing about it is when you do stuff like that, what does it say? Whatever I bound on earth, he bound in heaven. So whatever you do on earth, he's going to allow. So you're going to allow this torture and trauma? Okay, then, because God is a gentleman. But the thing about it is if you let God function, then he will break generational dysfunction. So when you tell them what is the root, it's okay to get counseling. You have to face the root. If not, you're going to repeat it. If you complete, you're going to repeat. You have to face it, not displace it. Because when you displace, it's going to keep coming up. Right. That has nothing to do with me. I just obey God and I release what you should do. But then on your end, it's your choice to follow up on it. You know what I mean? Get the counseling you need. Get the training you need. Find out what it is to get the bottom of it so you can go ahead and close the portal so it won't open. And once we educate them on how do you close portals? How do you pray? How do you see what's going on? Are you ready? Because I'm not here to get you hype. I'm here to get you right. And so many times they're so focused on you got to get past that. There's no deliverance. You can all you want to, but you're not getting no deliverance. And that's why you're back here. Because that's a problem there. You didn't deal with that. Right. He wants you to get a breakthrough and get to the root to get to your fruit. Then you can go ahead and shut down those portals and let Satan know you ain't going to have me like you did in this last season.
Great. Any challenges that kind of like throw you off course sometimes?
Yes. When when you go to remember you go to sometimes different cultures, whatever, it's not talked about. So it becomes a little bit challenged. But because I'm just bold. I'm parousia. In Greek, it means boldness and also means cheerfulness. I'm already trained for this. So the thing about it is, like I said, once I do something and release something, it's on to you. Because if I don't, then God's going to get me. Because once I do that, I'm released. Sometimes they don't want to listen, and I'm not gonna fight or force anything on you. I'm gonna pray for you and keep it moving. But if you're not going to listen, then, there's nothing I can do on my end, but besides just pray. And I'll be like, all right, then that's between you and God. I did my part. And then sometimes you get to them. So sometimes you get to the core. With me, I'm a no tolerance person. So sometimes God, I'll be like, all right, you want to listen? All right, I'm leaving. And sometimes God be like, you better get your little 2-pound behind back over there and finish what I said. I'm like, because when you're obedient, he's more lenient. Okay, so fine. All right. So when you're talking to a person who has their guards up, you get to the core of it, and he will show you. And as you speak to that person, you'll be like, oh, okay, I noticed that you like fashion. And next thing you know it, they'll smile and they'll kind of start warming to you. They warm it to me in general because I'm just an honest, blunt person. But they warm it to me in general. You talk about fashion. Okay, that's something you want to do. Okay, so how about before you can expand with your business and you want to use it in ministry or business, how about you deal with your hurt first? So because when you deal with your hurt, you won't be releasing inappropriate things. You won't be releasing out of anger. So that's why I even have a t-shirt that says this: listen with your heart and not your hurt. So listen with your heart. And that's how you are able to, it will lift up so many bondage. It will lift up so many trauma. And once we break the obstacles, it's going to be friction. You're going to have people who are hard-headed. If you read the Bible, everybody know that. God bless Jesus. He was a patient young man because I couldn't do what he did. But there has to be a way. Get a strategy of how to break the walls, and he will give you a strategy how to do it. I'll be ready to be like, all right.
Jesus had so much compassion. Sometimes you wonder, I'm like, what kind of God are you? But that's just how he loves, and that's so beautiful. Can I take your last word?
John 4:19. He loved us, we love him.
I know, right? Okay. So this is it. We're done. I don't know if this convo is ever done because this is really big. This is really huge. Thank you for coming through, Unique Norman. Your heart for children and for correcting the norms is really beautiful. Anyway, let me take your last words and then we can go.
So what I want to do in this, because the Holy Spirit was showing me that some of you parents are so concerned, how can you be there for your children? But as I mentioned before, at first you have to deal with the roots of what happened to you as a child. Some of you guys were brutalized as a child. And the Holy Spirit said this, I promise you, when you get the healing for yourself, you will see the healing and deliverance over your children.
Right.
The thing about it is, don't let someone's ignorance be a hindrance for your deliverance. And when he does that, he said, I could be your sozo. When you look at Luke 7:49, when the woman came to Jesus, she came to her like, look, I need this generational curse broken. I'm coming to you real. I'm not hiding this. I need deliverance. When she came with him for real, when she came to him with fullness, because she got rid of her the foolishness, he said that faith has saved you. In Greek, that means sozo. So he gave her the sozo when he became her soter. Soter means savior in Greek. And also in that, the Holy Spirit will break every trauma bond, every sabotage. Even I hear the word nightmare. Some of you guys even have nightmares of what happened and repeating and whatnot. He's releasing the ones, even the ones who had human trafficking. And also, as we're speaking real quick, I wrote a poem declaration, it's not long, that I want to release to the parents and give them courage and in hope. And just remember that when you feel powerless, get connected to the throne. When you get connected to the throne will become your home. And so here's one of the encouragement that I want to do. And it's my poem declaration. It's called Victory and Protection. This is encouragement for the families and the parents. Stand strong, oh parents. The night seems
Norman?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I think that we'd have to put the link or the your website on the screen, so that the parents can actually get there and read more than the poem clamation, because I actually saw that and I thought that that's really great. And then it will give them
a new one. Yeah, this is a new one. I just wrote for
right, so that they have an opportunity to see your music and the kind of jobs that you do. But we're going to have to go. It's so short, right? When you have great conversation, time is really short. But thank you so much for coming through, Norman. And
absolutely,
we wish you all the best in all your endeavors, and we pray that God would, sort of like open more doors for you. Well, thank you so much. This has been a great discussion about you and your children and their future. And you want to be a part of this conversation always. My name is Precious Biadola, and this has been Wake Up Africa.